Hi, welcome to the course. I'm Steve Ruth, your professor, and this is the first of the lectures that I'll be doing once a week, highlighting the topics that I think are significant for you to be ready to learn more about each week. These are the topics that you'll find a list of every week, and these are the things that I'll be discussing very briefly, trying to give you some hot buttons, important things to consider in this week's material. These are the assignments, and the first one, Professor Harrison's article, which is on eReserve. You should have no trouble finding it on eReserve because I've got it up there right on our Blackboard site. But once you review it, please notice that the idea of typologies is to see if they can fit into other various cultural paradigms, whether they're national, what countries seem to have this culture, regional, ethnic, or, for example, maybe they can fit families, or companies or churches, etc. So they're designed to be very useful in the context of being able to compare different kinds of cultures. Jill Lepore's article, she's a very well-known Harvard professor, one of many that I'll be presenting to you for consideration on the income inequality issue, which is probably going to be the #1 issue in the current electoral process. And it has a lot of different statistics, but again, I'm not going to ever preach them on the subject. I'm always going to give you lots of examples that you can use for consideration. The Shine article is one that I think you'll find interesting and useful, and I hope will be one that you'll be able to take full advantage of. It kind of introduces him to you. Shine approach is always very specific, very practical, and he's probably the best known writer in the field of organization still around, and we will be using several of his lectures in the course as well. I'm asking everybody immediately to subscribe to some blogs. I'm giving you two contrasting ones. First, Cafe Hayek, which happens to be produced right here at George Mason, a very conservative blog, and Daily Kos, a liberal blog, but I'm asking you to find lots of others so that when you're writing your comments each week, that you are quoting from different blog sites as often as you can, because this is the way people get, in the millions of blogs that are out there, this is a way of developing lots of interesting opinions. Many of them are factual, and quite a lot of the material that gets into the public discourse is found in blogs these days. Anyway, I want you to pick ones you like on different sides of the political spectrum and other spectra too, if you want. That brief article, Why Culture is Key, I think you'll find it interesting, very practical, has to do with business. The article on how technology wrecks the middle class, again, like all the other articles I'll be assigning and also the books I'll be assigning, I'm not asking you to agree with it, but to understand it, understand the view, and be able to react to it in your own comments. Finally, in the class, we're going to be reviewing your culture narrative, so you might be thinking of a culture narrative that you find interesting in your own life. I'll be giving a couple examples of mine. Then reviewing the team projects. They're probably mostly not going to be team projects. They're going to be individual projects, and I've given you samples of them. If you have a team that you want to work on, that's fine, but the individual projects usually turn out to be easier, and plenty of samples, but they are a formidable part of the grade, and they're also interesting, and then they're shared with everybody, and they do include sound. So I wish you the best in doing that one. And finally, if you haven't learned about Zotero, I hope you'll take advantage of this very interesting and highly useful package. I'll mention it more in class, but please, there's plenty of directions on how to learn how to use Zotero. I think it ought to be part of every graduate student's arsenal, and wish you the best in taking advantage of it. Finally, if it's a new experience for you being online, I'm glad to be part of it. I've done lots of these, and my job is to make it as interesting as possible, challenging, and I've gotten a lot of students through this, hundreds of them through it just fine, so I'm sure I will with you too. The best of luck in the course. Look forward to seeing you.